Welcome back to English Vibes.
So glad you could join us again.
Today we're diving into something really practical.
That's right. We're focusing on those essential everyday English phrases. These are sentences you'll hear native speakers use constantly. They're like conversational building blocks.
Okay, so our goal today is to unpack 10 really powerful conversational phrases. We want to give you the tools you need to step into, any casual English conversation with a bit more confidence.
Sounds good. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's start with a classic greeting, something really simple to maybe replace just a plain hello.
Okay, so the phrase is, how's it going?
Mm-hmm.
And this basically just means, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
But in a much more casual, friendly way. You hear it all the time.
Oh, constantly. It's perfect for, passing someone in the hallway at work or school, or maybe you see a neighbor outside. You could just say, hey, long time no see, Mark. How's it going?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the greeting itself that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of long time no see, what do we actually say when we haven't seen someone in ages?
Well, you kind of gave it away there.
Huh. I guess I did.
The phrase is long time no see.
Right.
And you use this exactly like it sounds when you haven't seen someone you know for a pretty long period. Could be weeks, months, maybe even years.
Yeah, and it really conveys that surprise and happiness to see them again.
Totally.
Like imagine you bump into an old friend unexpectedly. You might say, wow, Sarah, I didn't know you were here. Long time no see. Gosh, how long has it been?
Exactly. It's a perfect bridge to asking more questions and starting a real conversation.
Okay, so you said hello, you said long time no see. What's next? You need to actually catch up, right?
Right. After those initial greetings, you need something to ask about their recent life, get the conversation flowing.
And for that, we have. What have you been up to?
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically asking what someone has been doing recently, like what's been keeping them busy. It covers everything, work, hobbies, life in general.
Yeah, it's much broader than just, what did you do yesterday? It invites a bigger picture. It's really excellent for catching up properly.
Definitely.
So you could say something like, wow, we haven't really talked since the holidays. What have you been up to since then? It feels very natural.
Keeps things moving.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about phrases for during the conversation, like showing you understand?
Ah, good one. Yeah, sometimes someone explains something and the light bulb goes on,
Totally.
You need a way to show that.
So the phrase here is, that makes sense.
Yes.
This means, okay, I understand now. It sounds logical. It's clear to me.
Exactly. It's not just, I understand. It's more like logic fits together for me now. It signals you've processed it.
Right. So maybe someone explains why the library closes early on Sundays. They say, oh, it's because lots of staff travel on Sunday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
You can respond, okay, that makes sense. It shows you're listening and you get the reason.
It's a really good active listening phrase.
Definitely. Okay, what about agreement? When you don't just understand, but you really share the same opinion.
Right. Sometimes you need something stronger than just yes or I agree. You want to show you feel the exact same way.
So for that, we could use I totally agree with you.
Perfect.
This is obviously a stronger way to say you share the same opinion or thought as the person you're talking to.
Yeah, and that word totally adds emphasis. It shows real enthusiasm in your agreement. You can also use completely or absolutely.
Right. So if someone says, this coffee shop has the best muffins.
Muffins.
You could say, oh, I totally agree with you. They're amazing. It's much more expressive than just yes.
Definitely shows you're on the same page. Okay, but conversations aren't always about agreement, are they?
No, definitely not. Sometimes you need to clarify something, maybe at a point that seems a little contradictory, without confusing the other person.
Right. You want to make sure they don't misunderstand your overall point.
For that situation, we have. Don't get me wrong.
A very useful one.
It basically means, please understand my intention here, or don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. It often introduces a contrast or caveat.
Yeah, it's like putting up a little signpost saying, okay, here comes a slightly different angle, but my main point still stands.
Exactly. It manages expectations. For example, I really enjoy my new job. The work is interesting, but don't get me wrong, the commute is pretty tough some days.
See? It balances the positive with the negative without undermining the positive. Very useful.
Okay, moving on. How about expressing big surprise or maybe disbelief?
Yes. For those moments when something is just, wow, unexpected.
You need something strong. And the phrase is, you've got to be kidding.
Often said with a bit of energy.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a strong, informal way to show surprise, disbelief, maybe even shock. The tone usually goes up at the end.
Right. And you can use it for good news or bad news, anything really surprising.
Like if someone tells you, hey, guess what? I won the lottery.
You'd say, what? You got to be kidding. That's amazing.
Or maybe bad news. The final exam is actually tomorrow, not next week.
You've got to be kidding. I haven't even started studying.
Exactly.
That's
Very
expressive.
Very emotional, yeah. Okay, how about ending things like finishing work or an activity?
Good one. Yeah. What do you say when the work is done? Or maybe you're just tired and ready to stop. You don't want to be abrupt.
There's a great idiom for this.
Which is, let's call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
This expression just means, let's decide to stop doing this activity for today. Stop working, stop studying, whatever it is.
Yeah, it comes from like ending the workday, but you can use it for almost any shared activity. It's a friendly way to signal it's time to wrap up. Right. So if you've been studying with a friend for hours, you might say, okay, we finished chapter 5 and wow, it's getting late. Let's call it a day and maybe continue tomorrow.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Much nicer than just standing up and leaving.
Definitely. Okay, we have 2 more. Let's talk about disagreement again, but this time maybe gentler. How to say you're not convinced without being rude.
Ah, yes. Sometimes no is too strong, or you're just genuinely uncertain. You need a softer approach.
And for that, we can use, I'm not sure about that.
Simple, but effective.
This is used when you're, well, uncertain about something someone said, or maybe you gently disagree with their statement or idea.
Exactly. It keeps the conversation polite and open. Instead of directly challenging them, you're sort of expressing your own doubt or name for more info.
Right. So if someone says, oh, I heard that new cafe is the best in town,
Uh-huh.
you might say, I'm not sure about that. I heard Coffee Corner is still really popular. It leaves room for discussion.
Precisely. It doesn't shut the conversation down.
Sure.
Very useful for polite disagreement.
Okay, our final phrase for today. This one is more like a piece of wisdom, a proverb.
Yes, a classic one about timing and effort.
It is. Better late than never. So this means it's always better to do something, even if it's after the planned time or later than expected, than to not do it at all.
Yeah, it acknowledges a delay but focuses on the positive outcome that the thing actually happened or got done. It offers a bit of perspective, maybe forgiveness.
We use it a lot when someone apologizes for being late or for delivering something late.
Right.
Like if a friend finally sends you photos from a trip weeks later and says, sorry, these are so late.
You could reply, no worries. Better late than never. I'm excited to see them.
Exactly. It smooths things over.
So there we have it. 10 really useful phrases.
Quite a toolkit.
Definitely. And the really important thing now is practice, repetition.
Right. Just knowing what they mean isn't quite enough, is it?
Not really. To make these phrases truly useful so they actually come out of your mouth in a real conversation, you need to practice them until they feel, automatic.
So we really encourage you, our listeners, to maybe listen to this session again, but this time, focus on saying the phrases out loud. Try using them in pretend scenarios.
Exactly. That's how you move from just understanding the words on a page or hearing us say them to actually using them naturally in your own conversations.
It's about building that speaking muscle memory.
These phrases really are the building blocks for starting to feel more comfortable and fluent when you speak English. Keep practicing.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today on English Vibes.
Yes, thank you. Keep up the great work.